Hi everyone, Darren Hunter here and Deniz Yusuf from Inspired Growth Training, and we're with our video podcast, PM Growth Experts, and today we are with Martina Berry, who is the director with the Professionals Rockingham in WA in Perth. Now, Deniz and I have had the privilege to work personally with Martina in her office. Great team, great company. You get some amazing results, Martina, which we are going to go through today. But just before we do, I just want to talk about our exclusive partners, which is myconnect.com.au. Now, everybody in property management works with utility connections. Now, whatever company you're with, if it's not myconnect.com.au, you're working directly with the power company, which means you are losing out on choice. All righty, myconnect.com.au is the only company that is independent and can give you a lot more choice. So get in contact with the guys today. Go to myconnect.com.au. And Deniz, I think they have a special on your 10th connection with myconnect.com.au. You will get a free iPad. All righty, so great exclusive partners, really good guys to work with, amazing service. Now, Martina, let's just talk about you today because it's all about you. And tell us, how did you get into real estate? Tell us about your journey.
I kind of stumbled into it really. I came here as a temp. I'd been working managing medical centres and came here as a temp and just loved the culture. And then I got a job as a PA to the principal, and when he retired, I bought the company.
Wow, well done. A medical centre manager, well done. It'd be very, very interesting job. I'm sure you got a few stories working with doctors. So,
well, it's still dealing with people, isn't it? You're helping people, you know. So it's just a different heading.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's great. Now, next question. Tell us about your marketplace. Tell us about, where, what's unique about your marketplace. Tell us about your office. Tell us about that.
Sure. We're located 50k south of Perth. We have a fairly low socioeconomic area. So the average rental around here is about $320, $350.
It's lower than the metro area for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of our office, we have 25 staff, a team of 7 portfolio managers, a leasing consultant. I do the BDM role and I have a PA. And then we have a team of 9 sales reps.
Okay.
So you do more than just BDMing there, Martina. If we can just delve into you for a second.
Yeah.
A lot of people might all be out there thinking, wow, I wish I had a PA as a BDM, but you're also running the company as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I play the general manager role.
Yeah, so if we can just clarify, we've got to build yourself up a little bit. As a BDM, I would have been licking my lips if I had a PA. It would have been good. But, obviously, we've been working together for a while now, and I know a lot of the extra tasks that comes in being a general manager of a company, and 20 odd staff is that's just nuts. Darren?
I think you're Superwoman. I go in there and I see all these cubicles and I see staff, but what I do see is an awesome company culture. And we're going to talk about that shortly in one of the questions coming up, but it's just a great place to be in, great vibe. And, obviously culture always comes from the top down, and Martina, you're right that up the top there with Craig.
Yeah, and Darren, it does start at the beginning when you first walk into the office as well, right at that reception, that front desk area, that culture smacks you. So, Martina, how many properties have you grown in the last 12 months? I mean, let's even talk about the last 3 years because you've had some quite extraordinary growth. So, fill us in.
So I guess in the last 12 months, I've brought in 208 properties, so just over 200. But organic growth, we've grown from 300 to 600 over the past 3 years.
And that's a net growth of 300.
Organic.
That's phenomenal. So, yeah, look, there was a big post that you put on social media in our group that you'd finally hit that 600. So congratulations on that. That's a big milestone, to get through. So, I mean, you've doubled your rent roll.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well done.
Without buying any.
Yeah, without buying any. So that the asset value that's brought into your business in a short period of time, that's phenomenal. So, Martina, if you want to meet yourself, let's go back now. So obviously, you know, how long has it been since you started in real estate?
Oh, 2006.
2006. Okay, so we're talking about 12 years ago. So if we were to go back 12 years ago,
Yep.
and you were to meet yourself on the first day that you started in real estate, you know, day one, what would you tell yourself?
Make sure that you just build relationships with people, be nice to people, and just stay in touch with people, be tenacious. If I had Inspect Real Estate way back then, who knows how big we'd be now, because just building your leads and following those leads, if you've got the right CRM to do it, just makes it a whole lot easier.
So just clarifying there, of course, Inspect Real Estate is not a real estate company. They are, Deniz, what do they do? I mean, they are a CRM program. What else do they do?
Yeah, well, they're a combination of everything. So obviously, I'm thinking, you know, Martina's talking about the rental side of things, meaning the booking system where they can...
Online booking system, yeah.
Yep, the tenants can book in their own viewings for properties. And you've also got your IRE BDM, which is a CRM system for new business where leads can be scraped from realestate.com and your own website, feeds it in and gives you a follow-up system for patterns. And they've also got that key log system.
Key tracker as well. We just saw that. We just saw that a few days ago, and what an amazing system to track keys.
Yeah, they've got this system now, Martina, that you will see. It's lit up. So if somebody puts the key in the wrong thing, it flashes at you saying it's on the wrong section.
We're actually having a demonstration next week.
Oh, look, you'll be blown away. So, I mean, Inspect Real Estate's got some amazing things, and they've also got the move in, move out, and they've also got the, what's the other one? The routine inspection appointments for tenants.
Anyway, Inspect Real Estate, free plug for you. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Now, importantly, you brought up Inspect Real Estate for a reason. So, you know, and you talked about tenacious and follow-up. The importance of those things from a real estate point of view. I mean, can you just expand on that a bit?
Look, the majority of people that I speak to are surprised at my tenaciousness and that I followed them up. And they tell me that the other agents haven't even called them or haven't followed them up. It astounds me that people get leads and don't follow them up. I constantly contact people, follow them up, and ask them for the business, basically, which a lot of people don't.
Congratulations. I mean, look, on average, I'm finding 87% of agents, when I do the homework on them, they're not following me up from once they've handed me over their fees and information. So you're obviously in that top, 13%. So that's really good. So if you were to start a rent roll from scratch today, start one from scratch today, what would be the three key things, or what would be the three key areas of growth that you would work on?
I guess building up your reputation, making sure that you're getting reviews and building your online presence all of the time, because people are Googling, they're looking for us on Google, and if we can build our reputation online, that's where people are looking. Just be nice and do the right thing by people, treat people well. If you provide a good service, then people will refer you.
Yep.
And the other thing, I suppose, is join a networking group. Like I've joined BNI, and I've got some great connections, great referral partners within BNI, and that's been an amazing help in growing our rent roll.
Okay, so we're talking about an electronic footprint, so have some online presence. You're talking about working with referrals with your current clients, etc., and then being part of the BNI group. So the three key areas to grow the rent roll. Okay, so now I'm going to throw a bit of a doozy at you. This is a question that, it's where you're going to have to react. But, I mean, you turn up to work on a Monday morning, and people need to be thinking like this, okay? And it makes you wonder, and I'll get to this after you answer it, but, they calls you up on a Monday morning and they say, Martina, you've got 5 days to list 7 properties, or you've got 5 days to list 10 properties, whatever it is, or we're putting a foreclosure on your business. What do you do?
Get on the phone, pick up the phone, talk to people. Talk, talk, talk. Got so many leads in my system. I will just chase them. Ring people that have gone with other companies.
Expand on it. Who are you calling?
So people that I've spoken to before, people that have chosen other agents because they were cheaper, perhaps. I ring them regularly and ask how they're going, how the management's going. I'd be getting onto those people saying, hey, I touched base with you 3 months ago. You chose a different agent because they were cheaper. How's that going for you? Is it working? Are you happy? Is there anything we can do? And I basically just try and get as many people as I can. The private landlords that were private and might be struggling, check and see if they've listed their properties or if they're still vacant. Ring them and say, hey, I noticed your property's still vacant. How about listing it with us now? We can get you a tenant. We've got a leasing consultant that's a dedicated leasing consultant, and just advertise what we do. Just talk to people. You've just got to talk to people.
Well done. So now the point that I'm getting at is, you know, everyone's listening to what you're saying and they're going, wow, that's some good ideas. But the question that I want everyone listening to ask is, you don't have to wait for the bank to call you on a Monday.
No.
These are things that should be done. These are things that, you know, that's being proactive in chasing business. And, you know, you said it, you're part of network groups. You said it, you've got the footprint with your electronic footprint. And that's why, you know, you've doubled your rent roll in a short period of time, because you are being proactive. So well done to you. Okay, so what are your best rent roll growth strategies that you've got? You know, what are the strategies that are bringing in 80% of the business? You know, so, you know, top 3, top 4, top 5, what is it that is bringing a bulk of your rent roll growth that's coming in?
I don't know.
She's got that many leads coming in, pounding on top of her, right?
Look, I think they are, the strategies are to basically just talk to people, follow up, build your online reputation, be involved in networks, join your Chamber of Commerce, join networking groups, but just be tenacious and follow up on people and provide a good service so that people do refer you.
Yep. So what I love about what you're saying here, Martina, is, you know, one of my favourite quotes that, you know, I pretty well started enforcing this quote this year was, stop relying on the sales team. You haven't mentioned the sales team once for rent roll growth yet.
Now you've got a big sales team. I mean, you've got a heavy hitter sales team there that Craig looks after. You will look after the property management, but you're out there generating and shaking trees separate from the sales team.
Hold on.
I actually give a lot of leads to the sales team because people ring me for a rental appraisal and say, and I also want a sales appraisal. So it's actually my advertising, because I do a bit of Facebook marketing, and on that Facebook marketing, I get leads for the sales team. So it works the other way.
Well done.
Well done. So, you know, Darren, you know, at the seminars that we've done this year, I keep on saying, you even created a meme, you know, stop relying on the sales team to grow your rent roll. You know, it's something that I've said, and you are a pure response to that meme. So well done, you know, because you do have a big team. You've got a big sales team. I've met them. So Darren's met them. So well done that, you know, you're talking about those, your best rent roll growth strategies is your online presence, your B&Is, picking up the phone, you know, and that's what's happening. You've been getting a lot of leads through social media. But Darren, Facebook doesn't work for real estate.
Well, Martina proves that differently. Let's move on now. Martina, in your marketplace, we know there's a lot of competitors out there, and most competitors automatically default to the point of difference of discounting. Of course, it's a point of difference is something that they use to sway the owner's opinion, to impress them and go, pick me over my competition, because most people go to discounting. Now, we've done some serious work with your company, with your fees. I would gather to say you are probably the most expensive agency now in your marketplace. I think that would be fair to say. And, you know, despite that, you're getting a ton of new business. So it proves that the cheapest agent never, ever grows the most. You guys are getting a lot of new business. What are now you're not using discounting and cheap fees to impress the client. What points of difference are you using, Martina, to you know, impress the client so they choose you?
So basically, if someone tries to get me to match cheap fees, I'll ask them why they're leaving, where they're leaving. Obviously, they're cheap and they're not providing the same level of service that we provide. I talk about the fact that we limit our property managers to no more than 100 properties. That's so that they can service them. That cheap fee agents will often have a high turnover of staff, and part of the point of difference for us is that we have longevity of our staff.
But Martina, that's the actual truth.
Yeah.
Because those agencies cannot afford to pay their staff properly because their profit margins are so minimal to nothing. They overload their staff, which turns into a high staff turnover, poor customer service. So that's how cheap fees actually results in poor service.
Yeah. And I say, look, if I was to offer discounts, I wouldn't be able to afford the level of service that I provide because I wouldn't be able to pay my staff. I wouldn't be able to offer the training. I talk about training, the fact that our staff do 2 pieces of training a month as compared to other agents that might give their staff 2 pieces of training a year, just the compulsory CPD points. So, you know, I guess training is one area. The fact that we value our staff and value our tenants. Yeah, there are kind of all things that I say why we are better. It's you pay for what you get, and it's worth, you know, the difference in 1% might be $3 on a $300 a week property. It's less than the price of a cup of coffee, $150 a year. Where would you rather spend your money? And if we look after your property well, we're going to increase the value of the asset. If you give it to a cheap fee agent that's going to have a high turnover of staff and low care factor and high ratio of properties to property manager, then the chances are that your property is going to be devalued at the end of the 12 months or 2 years that you have it with that agent. So continuity of staff is one of the big things that I say, if you're with us, you're going to have the same property manager throughout the tenancy, whereas with some of the cheap fee agents, you might have 20 or 30 property managers in a year because they just can't retain staff. They don't value them enough. They don't pay them enough. They don't look after them. So,
very good points.
All right. So Martina, you're on fire at the moment. We're just going to just nail this one, okay? Because everybody gets this big owner fee objection. So owner says, Martina, your fees are very expensive. If you could match your fees or your management fee with the other agent down the road, what's your favorite way to deal with that one?
We're not a discount agency. We don't reduce our fees. And if we were to negotiate on our fees with you, then what would that say about us and whether or not we're going to negotiate with tenants? We want to get the best price for you. And if we're prepared to discount on fees, then are we going to be prepared to discount on rents for tenants as well? We just don't do it. We don't offer a discount. We're not a discount agency. We're a quality service provider, and that costs money.
I think that's an important thing to say there, Martina, because the people out there watching this video, Perth has experienced in the last 3 years amazing, rent, going backwards. I've seen rents up to 25% less now than what they were 3 years ago on average. Of course, big change in the economy there, big change in the real estate marketplace. And so I think, you've nailed it at home. It's really important that the owner can be confident in an agent that is not going to suddenly drop their rental income just because the tenant asks for a discount. Hence the reason why they've got to have a good negotiator and get the best fee. So, well done on using that one, Martina. Now, Deniz, I
want to add to that.
Yep.
One of the most important things that we need to elaborate on there that Martina was talking about when she's making an inquiry, she's asking them what their concerns are at the beginning of the process. So, it's not about the fee. It then becomes about how Martina overcomes their objection with what things they've got in place in their office. So that alleviates those issues. And then, she's actually then moving into showing them how much she's saving them in money up against the fee that they're paying. So, congratulations on there. There was a whole, 3-4 points that you brought up. I'm not even sure if you meant that, but
no, I think Martina, when you're out there ahead, you're the director of the company. You've got such enthusiasm. You are so friendly and you treat everybody so well. I can just see the owner trust meter is going up and up and up and up and up. And we know that the owner is going to sign with who they trust the most. So if an agent out there loses business to another cheaper agent, it's not because of the fees that the owner made that final major decision. It's the trust. And I know that you've got trust all over you when it comes to connecting. So therefore, I think your fees just become a secondary issue, don't they? Because they want to sign up with you.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is I always guarantee that I give my phone number to all our tenants, all our owners and all our contractors, so that if anytime anybody's not 100% happy, they can call me anytime. My phone's always on, and my phone doesn't ring off the hook with people complaining. We just don't get hardly any complaints. We're not perfect, but we very rarely get complaints. And I think that knowing that they can call the owner of the company if they ever have any issues. We have a policy whereby phone calls and emails are returned the same day or the next day. And I say, if it doesn't happen, ring me and I'll sort it. If I don't know about it, I can't fix it. But if you tell me about it, then I'll sort it. And communication tends to be a big bugbear in the property management industry, where people just don't get back to people. But because we limit our property managers to no more than 100 properties, they can manage that portfolio size and they can get back to people. They've got enough time in the day. They've got a structured day where they're here in the mornings, they're here in the afternoon, so they can return phone calls and emails at that time. So, and they're all passionate about it. They all want to do a good job. So, yeah, I guess it just works.
And you're quite confident in selling yourself, and you know your worth in your area. So that's one of the most important things, you know. And congratulations to you on that, because once you know your worth, you then will stand firm on your feet, and that does show. You know, you're a company that stands firm on their fees and has doubled their rent roll in a short period of time. You haven't dropped your fees to win the business. You're not, you know, lowering your standards. You're actually continuing to increase your standards as well as increasing your fees at the same time. So, you know, you're going, and you're marketing on Facebook. You're going against the entire grain of what the norm is. And Darren and I, we lick our lips with joy, because you do exactly what we want people to do. So congratulations. Now let's get into some nitty gritty again, if we can, because, you know, well, you've got all of these tasks and all of these, you know, leads, etc., coming in. But what are some of the KPIs that you've got in place to continue that your agency is number one in your area, that continues for you guys to continue to win awards, etc.? You know, what are the KPIs? What have you got in place that other agencies can, you know, look at doing themselves?
So our girls all have KPIs that are based on their month's progress, and they're paid out on a quarterly basis. No more than 3% of tenants in arrears for 3 days or more. No more than 10% of invoice arrears of 14 days or more. No more than 5% unauthorised periodics, and that's a big one because you don't want your leases to go into unauthorised periodics. No more than 5% of bonds unfinalised within 30 days. There's always the occasional one that drags out, but we try and keep them under control. 0 overdue inspections without a valid reason. 0 preventable losses without properties being managed, and no more than 10% of work orders in the system over 30 days. So they're all measured on them, and most months, all of them get 100%. So they're achievable targets, but they have to work to get to them.
So I just want to add in, just for our American viewers, arrears means rental delinquencies. Bonds is security deposit. Sorry, Martina. And also work orders are vendor orders. You know, we actually call our repair people tradespeople here in Australia. In America, they call them vendors. So yeah, just to help with the language there, continue.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so now, and you know, you've got KPIs on for yourself with things as well, because, you know, great examples of KPIs for the whole team, because if they're performing on them, it makes it easier for you to go in and then sell them, to sell what systems that you've got doing, which again is a credit to you, because you're happy to give out your phone number 24/7 because you know you've got great KPIs in place. It's a whole synergy that you've got going there. So what about KPIs for yourself? What do you do, you know, put in place for yourself to do to continue to grow and win more business?
I'm not very good at having KPIs for myself. I have goals. I have a goal of now 700 properties within the next 12 months. I want to get to 700.
Yep.
I try and get 20 properties a month at least. And I try and make my phone calls first thing in the morning, but sometimes I get appraisals and they take over. Appraisals just take priority all the time. If somebody wants to see me and they want to see me now, I'll drop those phone calls and go and see somebody. But I try and just log those phone calls in. I use Inspect Real Estate, and there's a phone list in there. I get my messages every day who I need to contact. I send thank you cards to our owners. So I make sure I'm on top of that all the time. We do 6-month thank you cards and 12-month thank you cards and
Okay,
follow-up phone calls to our existing owners.
These are the KPIs we're talking about. Now, can we elaborate on the thank you cards? Because they're one of the KPIs you've got. What type of envelopes are you sending and what don't you send anymore?
So I use coloured envelopes, but I'm very careful about not using red ones when I'm sending them to the Asian countries, because they see them as wedding invitations apparently. So yes, I'm avoiding red ones when they're going to Asia now.
Okay, well done.
Hey guys, I might just a quick heads up. I've actually got a whole pile of thank you cards here that I've got ready to go. And the envelopes, I've even got all the stamps on them ready to go as well. These are, of course, I'm from South Australia. These are one of my favorite artists from South Australia. And just amazing artwork there. So it's not a cheap card, but you know, people love them, and my favorite artwork on them as well. So they work really well.
Excellent. So well done, Darren. I just recommend getting a blue envelope now.
Okay.
Now, back to you've already kind of answered the next question I was going to ask you. What's your next growth goal? You know, and you said that your next goal is to hit 700. So
and 200 Google reviews is my next goal as well.
Wow. Okay. So how many Google reviews are you roughly on now at the moment?
Well, roughly 119.
Okay, so you've got 81 Google reviews to get by
December.
Yeah. Okay. So how many months have you got? Have you broken it down? Because let's crack it and let's do it. And I want to be there on that phone call. Okay. When you get it. So it's about breaking those goals down, and you do that really well. So well done. Okay. I think it's important to have those goals set, and you've got that, and you're obviously doing a good job of that as well.
Thank you.
All right. Last question. We've done very well. Great interview so far. Now, by the way, Martina, thank you. You are on the BDM panel at the Inspired Growth Conference. Now, I guess for everybody, it's a 2-day event in July in Brisbane. Go to inspiredgrowthtraining.com for details. And Martina is on our BDM heavyweight panel. But anyway, here is my last question. You are on stage at the Inspired Growth Conference, and you've got a room full of BDMs and business owners all wanting to grow their business. Now, what's the best bit of advice that you have for other agencies that are serious about growth? What would you say if you only had a couple of minutes?
I'd say treat people well, your staff, look after your people. Without them, you've got nothing. Look after your tenants, your owners, value them, and your contractors as well. Build good relationships with people. Follow up all your leads, make sure that you're tenacious about staying in contact with people, even people that choose someone else. Stay in contact with them, because that person might not deliver on service levels. People that decide to privately manage, stay in touch with them, because down the track they might decide it's all too hard. And if you've been educating them and training them and supporting them through their private management, then who are they going to call when they're ready to list it? So that would be it. Deliver a wow service all the time. Make sure that you're always on your best game, and people will refer you. The best compliment anyone can give us is to refer us to someone else. And I love it when I get a phone call saying, someone told me I'm not allowed to go anywhere else, I just have to come to you. And that's what it's all about. People thinking that your company is great. And we've got an awesome team, and I seriously would not have been able to grow the company the way that I have without having such an awesome team of property managers and admin people behind me. They're sensational. They do a great job. And if you've got great people, a great team and a great culture, then it's easy. It really is.
Well
just
done.
Listening to you speak right now, Martina, is just bringing the hairs up on my arms, because I'm excited to hear what you've got to share with everyone at the conference this year. And, you know, there's some amazing BDMs that are going to be on the panel with you. And, you know, by all means, you are in the top 5% of agents in Australia and what you're doing.
Well, that's why we're interviewing you, Martina. There's a good reason for that. So, guys, we're all done. Thank you very much. High five. Great job. And Martina, we think the world of you. Thanks so much for your time. And everybody, take care. Make sure you let other business owners know about this video podcast. Catch you later. Thank you.
Thank you.